Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where last episode we discovered a significant way to reduce our flood damage, which is of course the utilization of stone canals. We've got a long ways to go on getting all that finished, although I'm noticing there's some display issues here. This should have a wall on this side. These are apparently finished canals. I don't know what's going on with that, but okay, I guess it's fine. So I don't know how we're going to keep these in repair if we get rid of these bridges. So I think that these bridges might actually have to remain. They're pretty unsightly, but we'll keep an eye on it for right now. And if we can get away with taking those bridges out, that would be great. But I'm not sure that we can. Like I said, they're pretty unsightly right now. So we'll see how that ends up going. This up over here, we did remove the bridges on, I believe, and as we can see, these stone canals up here are just kind of invisible. But it's the beginning of the new year, and at this point, we don't have any flooding, and that's normal. So that's good. That allows us to get a lot of this construction finished, but we're in a good spot at this point. So we can see that these stone canals out over here, this is not a stone canal. Oh, this is a stone canal. Yeah, these need stone, and that's deeply unsurprising. We're trying to import a bunch of stone, not from here either, but from here. And we'll see how that ends up going. We need a ludicrous sum of stone for that. Our staff are supervising the venue right now. This is currently strained, this alcove is, and we could put in another alcove somewhere. For sure. Perhaps here, actually. That might not be a terrible I cannot speak, apparently. That might not be a terrible place for one. So we'll just go ahead and put one in right there, and that should be fine. So at this point, what problems are we foreseeing? Well, we have a dearth of stone, and that's deeply unsurprising. We should probably resume construction on all of this stuff at this time. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to order the resumption of all of this construction. But we need a lot of stone for that, and we need more stone coming in over here as well. So that's going to divert some of our stone that comes in, which we have to import the stone. We cannot produce our own stone here, which is very, very sad. I wish that we could produce our own stone here, but that's not a thing. So stone is our primary lack at this time. And when is the flood going to hit? That's my question right now. Because I'm wondering if we're going to see a flood here. We very well might see a flood up over here. But the canals are kind of invisible up here right now, and that's a little odd, for sure. There's these canals up here that are also kind of awkward looking, but they're not strictly speaking invisible. Okay. So that's all fine for the time being. Now here we have a 3x3 space. We could put something pretty decently sized in there. There's that flood. And as we can see, we are flooding in this area, and this area. That is significantly less flooding than what we were seeing before. Now, if I check in on these stone canals, we can see that this one is actually not fully built, but the condition on these are not at 100%. So they're going to have to be maintained, and that's absolutely understood. We may not be able to reach all of these canals to maintain them. This is the area I'm most concerned about, but then there's also this right up over here, which could be interesting to reach. We shall see. Okay, so this guy's building a stone canal out over this direction. I'm not sure where exactly, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Our canals may require some maintenance bridges. That might be a thing. So this out over here is obviously problematic for our current canal situation. And we can see that this canal out over here, these are all under construction. So that's going to require a fair amount of additional work. We do see some stone out over this way. We would love to see more stone coming in down here and getting this area finished up. This is starting to get a little bit fleshed out, but it's got a long ways to go. No doubt about that. So that's absolutely fine for now. Our population is looking okay. Our prestige is very not okay. We need a lot of prestige. And you can see we're pretty negative right now in our axe monies. And I'm assuming that this is due to our stone outlay. I think that's very likely. We'll keep an eye on that. We do have some export goods here. We've got a good amount of pottery. We've got some furniture here for export. Out over this direction, we've got some cotton and furniture for export. And over here, we've got more cotton for export. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully this is enough. And hopefully we'll need less stone as we start to get some of this finished up. We are producing a good amount of clay at this point. So that looks good. We've got all of this clay production online. I'm happy to see that. This mason yard here is still making repairs, and we definitely need a lot more stone in a lot of places. Stone and clay. So we've got a bit of a clay deficit still. We're getting there, though. So overall, I'm pretty happy with our current situation. I don't think we have anything super dangerous occurring other than this potential axe monies issue. But that is, I believe, entirely due to our import of stone. We cranked up our import of stone significantly, and that's going to, of course, cost us a lot of money. Not as much as if we were getting it from the capital, though, so there's that. So how are we going to get our prestige up since we don't have to do tribute? That's an interesting question. So our prestige right now is at 10. And this is basically just a sum of our, or not really a sum. Is this like an average? No, this is summed here. And then this is 10% of the bonus that we need to get to, I think. No, we need 60. Okay, this is calculated kind of oddly. But basically, we need to increase our other scores to increase our prestige, and that's understood. So that seems fine. I'm wondering about housing up over this way. 7 of 8, 6 of 8. This is at 8 of 8. So we're definitely wanting some additional housing up over here. 6 of 6, 4 of 6, 6 of 6, 6 of 6. Yeah. So more housing over this way would be useful. The question is, that's only 1 of 2 workers, and that's 0 of 2 workers. We could definitely get that done with the housing that we've got here, though. So I think that's relatively fine for right now. I think our food production is good. I'm not quite as happy with our finances right now. We may want to consider turning up our taxes or turning down our wages a little bit. Let's do that for now, because I'm definitely concerned about how much stone we're importing. We're not even really seeing it here, and that's not surprising. It's just immediately getting taken to where it needs to go. But as we can see, we've actually made very significant progress on our construction down over here. So we can definitely tell that our stone has been coming in here. That looks good. Our stone is getting put to work. The real question is any stone making its way up over here, right? And honestly, the answer to that appears to be yes. These canals are making progress. So that looks good. We're not really seeing any canals out over here. And then the question is, once these are built, which some of these are, once these are built, are we going to be blocking this flooding? Or is this just going to flood forever? I don't know. We're also interested in checking in on this out over here. This is swamp. Are you telling me there's no canal there? Hang on. Engineering, stone canal. Yeah, there's no canal there. That must have been a chinampa at some point. Okay. So we're basically using these as levees at this point, and that seems good. My main question now is, are we going to see these canals back here fail? Or these canals we can probably reach. This one here, I think, would be a bit problematic. Specifically this canal. So we may want to consider putting a wooden bridge right here to be able to reach specifically only that canal. We'll get that put in there, and we can see that this canal is now starting to be built, and hopefully that'll cause this to no longer... Yeah, there we go. This is no longer flooded. That's perfect. So these are all stone canals here, and I think they need more work, but this will this will probably have to have a stone canal running this way to prevent this from flooding, is my current guess. I'm guessing this is flooding in from this direction and not from this direction now. We can find out, of course. So if we wanted to find out, we can take a stone canal down to just here. I don't want to actually remove any of this, but that should be sufficient. And then up over on this side, this stone canal can go from here down to here, about like that. Okay, that should stop these areas from flooding, in theory. And that should make things a lot easier for us. These wooden bridges are still going to be flooded, but that's okay. I'm not terribly concerned about the wooden bridges flooding, to be honest. That seems fine. So we definitely still need some stone out over this direction. I'm keeping an eye on our finances. Our finances are back to being very, very positive. So I'm going to bump our wages right back up right now. And we'll see how that feels. We're still importing an awful lot of stone, and a lot of that's going down over here, so that's going to be pretty expensive, but that looks fine by me. There's no actual problem here, I don't think. I still don't know what we actually need for this great temple. We'll find out. So all of these temples are going in at this moment. We've got these barracks out over here, and I think we're going to need more noble compounds, so perhaps a noble compound here and here wouldn't be a bad thing. So if we were to do that, like, here, and then here, yeah, I think that'll be fine. And we might need more up over this way as well. We'll see. For now, that's looking reasonably good. Some of our workshops lack clay, timber, and stone. Okay, so all of those things I'm not terribly worried about right now. We're producing a good amount of clay and timber. And then stone is, of course, being imported, and we need a lot of it still. But there's certainly a good amount of stone that has been imported and has been... Actually, this has made significant progress. And yeah, you can see that this is no longer flooded here now that we brought this over. So that looks good. There are apparently reeds growing up out of the swamp over here, and we should probably consider chanampaing just this right here. Like that. And then this is barrens here, right? Yeah. That's desert. Okay. So it would be something like this. These are canals here. So that's absolutely fine. They don't look like canals, but they are canals. And this out over here, this will stop being flooded very, very shortly. And that will be very beneficial for us. So overall, I'm very pleased with how this is going right now. I don't think we can fish in this river, can we? I'm like 95% certain that we can't fish. Yeah, we're supposed to be hunting turkeys, but that's not what we're doing. Wow, look at that. We finally finished moving this Sawyer. That's wild stuff. So we, of course, want to put our stone canal right up over here. There we go. And now we can put our final farming hut over here. And the question is... Well, actually, this is our penultimate farming hut, because we've still got this up over here. So, what do we want to put here? Do we want to have this be herbs? I'm going to say no. How are we doing on our maize? So our pop support here is currently showing 3180. So that's close to our pop cap. So 3180, let me grab my phone here since we know that tapping out is very bad. Let me grab my phone, pull up the calculator here. So 3180 plus, and then if we look at our other food sources, we've got fruit here, so that's 788 plus chili is 1168. That's 5,136. That is more than we need for our population goal. So that looks good. We don't need any additional food farming in that way. We shouldn't put any megwee down here. We could put more cotton here. Question is, do we have any cotton weavers that are not actually well supplied here? So some of these don't have cotton buds here. I'm wondering about where they get their cotton buds from. Yeah, I think we might actually need more cotton production. Some of these are pretty low on their cotton buds. So I'm going to put a cotton farm here. That seems absolutely fine. We'll do a farmer's hut right there, and then a cotton bed to fill all of this, like that. That's going to take out a couple of those forests. That should be fine. And this will reach up to this porter yard with no problem. So this porter yard should be set to accepting some cotton buds. There we go. Because I don't think this can reach anywhere else effectively. Yeah, that'll be fine. So there's a little bit more cotton production. I don't think we were super low on our cotton production. I think that'll just get us a little bit higher up. We still do need some herbs. Our food reserves are low and declining. That should not be the case. That might be because we just switched over our canals and our irrigation isn't fully online. I think that's a possibility. So for now, this looks absolutely okay, I think. I'm not having... Hi, pause menu. I'm not having any issues with what we're seeing right now. I don't think we actually have a food problem. I'm wondering... this market is fine, I think. We don't really need any other market work here. Not yet, anyway. A couple of small markets, like here and here, might not be bad, though. So we could do that. We could put in a small market... How big is a large? We could put in a large market here and here, like that. And I think that'll be fine. This person just collapsed and is now going to rest at a common home. They're apparently starving. Why are they starving? Because we don't have maize, fruit, or chili at this market. Why don't we? We've got lots of maize, fruit, and chili in stock at this granary. We could move or rather put in a granary out here somewhere, with the idea being to collect resources to distribute out over here and up here. So that's maybe not a terrible idea. So a granary up over like this direction, that would be able to reach that market. It would be able to reach the markets that are in here, and it would be a lot closer. Actually, it would reach this market too. And it would reach this market. That's a good spot. I like it. And then this is not going to be set to accepts. This is going to be set to getting maize, fruit, and chili, and then all of these are going to be at 200. Okay, so that seems pretty good. We'll get that in there, and that should solve that food problem. I hope. And then the question is, do we have any other markets that are not within range of a granary? So we've got this market here, we've got this market here, which is reachable, and this market, which is reachable. So actually, all of our markets are reachable by these two granaries. I like it. We're going to need to move a lot of food from this granary to this granary, of course, but that's absolutely fine. And this granary is getting full anyway, so it would be a good thing to do. Let's absolutely get this one built. We need 2 stone for it, and now it's done. Perfect. What about housing out over here? We've got enough housing to run that, so that should not be a problem. Now we just need staff. Eventually we'll get staff here. So that looks good, and we'll start to see food being moved over to this granary. There we go. Now we've got a porter here. And we should eventually be seeing food moved here, and then from there it'll be distributed to these markets. I'm pretty sure that's the problem that we've got going on there. So that'll be fine. That'll also give us more long-term food storage, which would be good because this granary is actually getting full. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to be able to store twice as much. And to be honest, our fruit is always pretty low. So I'm going to bring this down to 120, and I'm going to add in an additional maize. 2 additional mazes, actually. Like that. Chili is a bit higher. Fruit is a bit lower, and maize is higher than all of them, or both of them combined, to be honest. So that's absolutely wonderful. That should be good. This is still not higher than both of them combined. So we could remove another from fruit and have it be like this. And I think that's okay. We're never seeing large amounts of fruit building up, but you can see just how much we're moving out of this granary. It should be showing up in this granary very soon. Yep, there we go. 50 out of 320 there. And then from there, it should be starting to show up in these markets. We should start to see maize here, and then the market will deliver it to the homes. So eventually that will be the case. But that's not the case yet. We are making progress on our noble district here. There's no doubt about that. We're starting to see these common homes here. They need access to a sweeper, and that's fair enough. We should actually have a sweeper back here, probably two, in fact. So let's put in a sweeper, and that can go in... Too close to a structure that requires clearance, huh? Okay. That's fine. We can put that in here and also here. So that'll be okay for now, getting a couple of sweepers in there. And I'm wondering about well dippers. I don't think we have well dippers here, but keep in mind that these stone roads can pipe water from cisterns. I'm not sure if we can build cisterns, though. So there's that. We probably need well dippers. So I'm going to put a well dipper here, or maybe here. Yeah, I'm going to do it here and then also here. Okay. So something along the lines of that, just to make sure we've got enough water and enough sweeperage out in this area. We should definitely have some dentists and saunas and things like that around here. We've got the House of Song right now. I think that's a mason yard and a sauna. That's a library and a mason yard. Okay, that's all noted. That needs a lot of stone. And you can see that we are a little bit negative in our axe monies right now, but that's not an amount that's negative that I'm actually worried about for the moment. So that looks good. Now, at this point, this Chinampa has finished, so we can put in another farm here. And the question is, what kind of farm do we want to put? Do we want more food production that we don't believe that we actually need? Or do we want additional cotton bed production, which I don't actually believe that we need? Let's see here. This is at 0 cotton buds right now. 0 cotton buds, 0 cotton buds, 15 of 20, 17 of 20. Out over this way, 20 of 20, 16 of 20. So some of our guys out over here are having a hard time getting cotton buds. This Porter yard does get cotton buds and deliver it to those areas. So I think we could definitely make the argument that we should put in more cotton bud production here. So I'm going to grab that, and that will fill out all of our farm space. Perfect. So that'll be done. And that's absolutely no problem. So we're definitely still seeing some lack of stone up in these areas. And a lot of our stone is currently definitely being monopolized by this. No doubt about that. But that's fine. This is a finite amount of stone that we need to put in here, and we can import an infinite amount of stone given sufficient time. So that sounds absolutely wonderful, and we will continue to work on these canals. There's a lot of work needing to be done on them. Specifically, we need to bring a lot of stone in over on this side. So this Porter yard is having a hard time getting its stone. I think that these Porter yards over here, this one and this one, had an easier time getting the stone. Fair enough. And the stone is currently being shuffled down this direction. But we're seeing large amounts of progress on getting this finished. It does still need ludicrous sums of stone. There's no doubt about that. That is absolutely for sure. So that's interesting. No doubt about that. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see about bringing our population count up and finishing up some of this stuff down here and making sure that our food distribution network is actually distributing food at this point. That would be a neat thing for a food distribution network to do. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.